She said I need space to think about us right after her ex followed her on Instagram. I gave her all the space she needed permanently. When she decided she wanted to work things out, I told her I'd use the time to think too. I 29 male need to get this off my chest because I can't tell anyone in real life yet. Not until everything's finalized. 3 weeks ago my girlfriend Jenna 27 told me she needed space to think about us. This was exactly 14 hours after her ex Dylan followed her on Instagram. I know because I saw the notification pop up on her phone while we were watching Netflix. She immediately flipped it over, but not before I saw her smile. We've been together for 3 years. Living together for 2 joint bank account for the apartment expenses. Her name on my car insurance because hers was too expensive. You know, couple stuff. The conversation went like this. I just feel like we're in different places right now. She said, not making eye contact. Different places. We literally live in the same apartment. You know what I mean. I need to figure out what I want. And Dylan following you has nothing to do with this sudden self-discovery. She actually had the audacity to look offended. This isn't about him. Why are you being so paranoid? Classic. Here's what she didn't know. I'd already been suspicious for weeks. Little things. New underwear that wasn't for me. Sudden interest in work happy hours that her coworker Melissa knew nothing about when I ran into her at Target. Phone always face down. You know the drill. So when she asked for space I said sure. Take all the time you need. She looked surprised, like she expected me to beg. Really? Really? In fact, why don't you stay at your sister's for a while? Clear your head properly. She packed a bag that night, kissed me on the cheek like we were roommates, said she'd check in soon. The second her car left the parking lot I got to work. First I called my insurance provider and removed her from my policy effective at the end of the billing cycle. Saved me $97 a month. Then I went through our apartment lease. Turns out I'm the only name on it. She'd been meaning to add herself but never got around to it. Convenient. The joint bank account had $1,847 in it. I had a strong feeling I knew where most of that came from. I'd been putting in $1,200 a month. She was supposed to be putting in $600 but was often short. I started downloading 2 years' worth of statements. The math wasn't gonna be pretty. Then I waited. Day 3. She posted an Instagram story at a wine bar location tagged. Dylan liked it within minutes. Day 5. Her sister texted me asking if we were okay. I said Jenna asked for space to think. I'm respecting that. Day 7. Jenna texted asking if I'd paid the electricity bill. I responded I transferred money for it. Let me know if you see any issues on your end. She left me on read. She knew damn well I was talking about the joint account. Day 10. I was checking my front door camera footage, a habit I picked up after a package went missing, and saw Jenna's car pull into the lot around 2 a.m. It just sat there for 10 minutes before driving away. Her sister lives 40 minutes in the opposite direction. Interesting. Day 12 she posted a selfie, new earrings. The comments were wild. Dylan wrote and she replied with I screenshotted that too. Day 14 she texted can we talk? Me I thought you needed space. Her I've had time to think. I miss us. Me what about Dylan? Her what about him? We're just friends catching up. I didn't respond. She showed up that night, used her tea, found me meal prepping in the kitchen like nothing was wrong. Why haven't you been answering my texts? Been busy, you know, thinking. She sat down at our kitchen table. Our table that I paid for. I made a mistake. I want to come home. What kind of mistake? Asking for space. I realized you're the one I want to be with and you figured this out in 2 weeks. Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. I almost laughed. So Dylan was a bust. Her face went red. I told you this wasn't about him. Jenna, your car was in my parking lot at 2 a.m. last Tuesday. I have the footage. The silence was beautiful. I came to get some clothes. In the middle of the night. Why didn't you come in? More silence. Look, she said, switching tactics. We've been together 3 years. Are you really gonna throw that away over a misunderstanding? You're right. 3 years is a long time. That's why I've been thinking too. I pulled out the bank statements I'd printed. Over the past 2 years you've deposited a total of $9,600 into our joint account. I've put in over $28,000 and that doesn't count the car insurance, groceries, or the streaming services all tied to my personal credit card. You make more than me. I do, and I never had a problem with that. I did have a problem with being taken for a ride, and it looks like I still am. I slid a piece of paper across the table. This is a formal 30-day notice to vacate. Her jaw dropped. You can't kick me out. I live here. You stay here, but you're not on the lease. Legally you're a month-to-month tenant, and this is your notice. I'll fight this. With what money? The joint account is nearly empty after bills, and I know what's in your personal account. Yeah. I've done my homework. She started crying. The tears that used to work on me. I made one mistake. I was confused. Dylan means nothing. Then who are you calling right now? She froze, phone in hand. She thought I couldn't see the screen. I need a ride. Your car is parked right next to mine. Try again. She grabbed her purse and stormed toward the door. Stopped. Turned back. You're going to regret this. You'll never find someone who loves you like I do. I fucking hope not. She slammed the door so hard the frame shook. 5 minutes later, Dylan's white Honda Civic peeled out of the parking lot like it was in Fast and Furious. That was 5 days ago. Today I got a text from an unknown number. It was Jenna's mom, Linda. We'd always gotten along great. The text said I heard what happened. Jenna told me her side. I'm just gonna say I'm very disappointed in her. You deserve better. Plot twist. Dylan has a girlfriend. Her name is Ashley. She DM'd me yesterday asking if Jenna and I had really been broken up for months like Dylan claimed. I sent her screenshots. She sent me one back. It was Dylan's Instagram story from 20 minutes ago. Some people can't handle the truth. Single life it is. Update 1. Things got complicated. It's been a week since I posted this. I thought she'd just leave. I was wrong. Remember the 30-day notice? Well, she hired a lawyer, or rather her dad hired one. Some guy named Keith who specializes in tenant rights. Keith sent me a very official letter explaining that Jenna had established residency and my notice was improper, that she had rights to the shared assets and I couldn't just kick her out. That she was entitled to compensation. Fine. I hired my own lawyer. Cost me $500 for the consultation, but worth every penny. My lawyer, a no-nonsense woman named Carol, told me Keith was right about the residency. An eviction could get messy and take months. But she said they don't want to go to court any more than you do. He's fishing. Let's negotiate. Carol's response to Keith was a masterpiece. It acknowledged Jenna's residency but attached a spreadsheet documenting the financial disparity in our contributions. It also included a sworn affidavit from me stating that she had effectively moved in with a third party taking her essentials with her and had not stayed at the apartment for 17 consecutive nights. Suddenly Keith's tone changed. Now they wanted to mediate. The mediation was yesterday via Zoom. Jenna was at her parents' house in a dress I bought her for our anniversary. Full makeup. She kept trying to look sad for the camera. Her dad, Frank, was there too. He looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Keith started. My client is willing to vacate the premises in 30 days provided Mr. Me is willing to compensate her for her non-monetary contributions and her share of the joint assets. Carol barely smiled. Your client contributed less than 25% of the funds to the joint account from which all joint assets were purchased. We have documentation. As for non-monetary contributions, my client was the one who decorated the apartment and handles the majority of the cooking and cleaning. We have photos. I had sent her everything. Frank shifted uncomfortably on camera, then Jenna played her card. I want my grandmother's ring back. Context: her grandmother had left her a vintage engagement ring. Jenna had given it to me to keep safe because she kept losing jewelry. It was in my safe. Of course, I said immediately. It's her property. She can have it when she retrieves the rest of her belongings. Teeth looked disappointed, like they'd expected a fight. After some back and forth, we landed on a number. She would vacate on the original date, and in return I would wire her $500 from the joint account as a final settlement. It was more than her share, but it was cheaper than a court battle. After the call, Frank called me privately. "I'm sorry about this," he said quietly. I told her to just move on, but he shrugged. "You know Jenna?" "Yeah. I do now. For what it's worth, Linda, and I think you're doing the right thing. She admitted she'd been staying with Dylan when she told us you kicked her out. We're not stupid." Meanwhile, the Dylan-Ashley situation simmered. Ashley didn't go public, but she did send the screenshots to a few of their mutual friends. Word spread. Jenna's best friend Maria texted me. "I'm so sorry. I had no idea. She told me you were controlling and she needed space to breathe." "Controlling how?" "She said you monitored her spending and wouldn't let her go out." I sent Maria a single screenshot of a bank statement showing I'd transferred Jenna money 3 times in 1 month with notes like "for girls' night and shopping fun." Maria sent back, "I feel like an idiot. Last night Jenna tried a Hail Mary. Showed up at 11 p.m. crying, but it looked forced. Please," she said. "I love you. I made a mistake. Dylan was a fantasy. You're real. You're stable. You're your meal ticket." She flinched. "That's not fair. Neither is what you did. I didn't technically cheat. We were on a break. A break you engineered to sleep with your ex. It wasn't like that. What was it like then?" She couldn't answer because we both knew exactly what it was like. "You have 8 days left," I said. "The agreement is signed. Start packing." She looked at me and for a second her mask slipped. I saw calculation in her eyes. She was weighing her options, realizing this one was closed for good. Update 2. The final chapter today was move-out day. I took the day off work. My buddy Jake and my brother Tom were there as witnesses. Jenna showed up at 9 a.m. with a U-Haul and Dylan. Dylan tried to puff out his chest. Jake, who's 6'4" and does MMA, just nodded at him. "Hey." The tension deflated like a punctured balloon. Jenna had a list. "I need my grandmother's ring, my clothes, the kitchen stuff." "Which kitchen stuff?" "The air fryer, the Instant Pot. I have the receipts for those. I bought them before we met, but you can take the blender." "You bought that?" She tried to argue for the coffee maker, the TV, even the damn succulents I'd been growing. Each time I just said that one's mine. Frank showed up halfway through. Jenna had called him crying. He took one look at the situation, at the small pile of her actual belongings versus the entire apartment, and sighed. "Jenna, just take your things and go. He's being unreasonable." Frank looked at me, at Dylan sulking by the door. "Is he though?" The mask slipped again. "Whose side are you on?" "The truth's," Frank said quietly. She loaded her clothes, her photos, her bathroom stuff. 2 years of a life fit into 7 boxes and 3 suitcases. When she got to the bedroom, I went to the safe to get the ring. As I pulled it out, my hand brushed against another box I'd hidden in the back. A small velvet one. I froze for a second. She saw the look on my face. Was it? Nothing. But she knew. She walked over as I stood there. The velvet box now sitting on top of the safe. "What's in there?" she whispered. I didn't answer. I just opened it. It was an engagement ring. Simple. Classic. What she'd always said she wanted. Her face went white. The color drained from it. "You were going to?" "Yeah. Before you decided Dylan's attention was worth more than our future." She started crying, real tears this time, sobs that shook her body. "When? How long have you had it?" 6 months. The room went silent. Even Dylan looked awkward. She reached out, touched the ring, then pulled her hand back. "I fucked up," she whispered. "Yeah. You did. Can we?" "No." She just nodded, wiping her eyes. She took her grandmother's ring, closed her fist around it, and didn't look back at the other one. They finished loading in silence. As they prepared to leave, Jenna turned one last time. "For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For what you did, or for getting caught." She didn't answer. Couldn't answer. Dylan honked. Classy to the end. After they left, Jake helped me change the locks. Tom ordered pizza. We sat in my empty feeling apartment, and for the first time in months I could breathe. "You okay?" Tom asked. I will be. What about the ring? Returning it tomorrow. Good call. My phone buzzed. Ashley, they just pulled up. Looks tense. My work here is done. Then another text. Maria heard today was the day. Wine tonight. My treat. Maybe I smiled a little. Final update. It's been 3 months. Figured I owed you all closure. Jenna and Dylan didn't last. I don't know the exact timeline, but about a month ago Ashley texted me that it was over. Then a few weeks after that I heard from Maria that a rumor was going around about Dylan's other ex being pregnant. A total mess. Jenna texted me once a week after she moved out. I'm sorry. You were right about everything. I didn't respond. What was there to say? I did wire her the $500 we agreed on. We both signed the form at our respective banks to close the joint account for good. It felt like signing a death certificate for a part of my life. As for me, I'm good. Better than good. That ring got most of my money back. The apartment feels like mine again. I repainted, got a new couch, bought more plants that no one complains about, started therapy. Not because I'm broken, but because I want to understand how I ignored the red flags. Turns out I didn't ignore them. I just painted them green because I wanted to believe in the person I loved. Won't make that mistake again. Maria and I went for that wine and coffee and lunch. We're taking it slow. She knows what I went through, but she's different. Grounded. Doesn't hide her phone, pays for her half without even thinking about it. Bare minimum. Maybe. But it feels like a luxury now. Frank still texts sometimes. Just checks and says Jenna's finding herself, which I guess is code for unemployed and living at home. She lost her job after that HR complaint from Ashley snowballed into an investigation about her fake sick days. Dylan disappeared from social media. Someone said he's working at his stepdad's car dealership, but the real ending, the quiet, understated final scene. Last Tuesday I got an email notification. Jenna, last name, viewed your profile on LinkedIn. I just posted about a promotion. A big one. The kind that comes with a company car and stock options. The kind of stability she claims she wanted. The kind of future she traded for nostalgia and Honda Civic rides. That was it. No like, no comment, just the silent digital proof that she was looking. Tom said I'm petty for checking, maybe. But after 3 years of funding someone else's life while they torpedoed mine, I'll take petty. The apartment's quiet now, but it's my quiet, my peace, my space, and honestly I wouldn't have it any other way.